Hey, what's up, everyone? Okay, so today we're going to do a little bit of a proof of concept, is what I like to do. And with the power of AWS and Google Private Cloud and Azure, it's really a cool time to be in post production. Now, there's loads of options out there, and in absolutely no way am I DevOps explaining how to do VPCs and looking at gateways. What this is editors, one man, two man, three man band show, and they want to utilize clouds and how that will work. Now, to go into NASs and all sorts of stuff, it's the next level up, and this video is not intended for that in any way, shape, or form. This is to offload from your local machine and utilize multi-cores in AWS and also using Wasabi as a cloud source, which I'll explain in a second, and the tooling you could use. Now, the one thing you want to do is you just don't want to go up into the cloud and just use Adobe Media Encoder where you don't really need it because it just does a single core and it will do one after another. What you want to do is multi-core exporting, and more importantly, you want to get an MP4 to your clients or put into Frame.io or the other MEMS that are on the cloud right now for an approval. And then you could offload your files to make a ProRes, an XDCAM, an ABC Intra, or what have you. So imagine, if you will, I've made a multiple asset variants of this particular car commercial, and at the end of it, it's got each dealer tag to it. In this case, it's about 195. I'm working After Effects 2020. This could work in any of them, to be fair. And I wanted to kind of go through what I actually use. So this piece of kit is phenomenal. Okay, now check it out, do a trial. I've bought it, absolutely fantastic. And what it will do is break apart your After Effects project, and then utilizing Python and FFmpeg, will then split it into sections, which are called seeds, and then it will then rip it off into Terminal or into whatever the one on PC is, sorry, PC lovers, and then it will start smashing away and utilizing every core. So that's the way I like to do that sort of stuff. To do our MP4 after Codex is absolutely fantastic. Again, utilizing a little bit of FFmpeg, he's now moved into his own version of FFmpeg, and another great piece of kit. These two combined together, and After Effects can also do ProRes, but bless his cotton socks, Adobe now uses ProRes in the PC and obviously the Mac versions. But for MP4s, this is the way to do it. So between Render Garden and this, brilliant. For storage, Wasabi. Now this is an interesting one. Wasabi is very, very cheap at storage, but it doesn't do egress, which is files going in and out of it. Now coming out of an AWS into Wasabi, you get charged. Once it's in Wasabi, you don't get charged downloading, uploading, sideloading, all that sort of stuff. And with CyberDuck, you can actually get a section for it. I'll put the link downstairs. And using CyberDuck, you can get this, do your credentials or your AMIs, and then it will be rocking. That said, let's bumble over to AWS. Now, AWS, I'm not going to go through how to set up instances. There's a million videos on the interweb showing you how to do that. What I do want to do is show you what an editor needs to keep an eye out for. So once you've got your instance up and going, and another key part of instances, it's completely up to you on what instance you want to do. I have two instances. One is my upload and kind of go-to one, which is only a 4-core, 16 gig, and that's all I do, and that's like a quarter of a buck an hour or something stupid simple. And then I have the meaty one, which is this guy. This guy has 32 cores. You can get up to 96, 128, whatever floats your boat. Now, with Render Garden, it can only do 16 physical cores. So to do a 32 core box that's added utilizing it, it's a little bit fudge because these aren't really physical cores, these are virtual cores. So depending on your job and what we'll go through in a second. But what I do want to cast your thing to is if you go to the server manager and go to your local server, what you want to turn off straight out the gate is this IE thing, right? So you want that turned off because when you go to fire up Adobe, Adobe needs to authenticate what licenses are running. Seeing you get 2 licenses per se when you do Adobe Creative. I've got one on the local Mac and I've got one up in the cloud. So if you have that turned on, you will be in a world of pain. Trust me, don't do what I did. So saying that, Again, I've got CyberDuck loaded up, and within CyberDuck, I've got my Wasabi S3. So this is it coming down here, and I've offloaded my Adobe After Effects, which is consolidated all my footage and all my fun stuff up there, and then I brought it down. I've made a second volume, which is my media storage, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I've only done a 200 gig one. You could do whatever you wanted to. So this is where I'm putting the stuff down to. You could go back and forth on the C drive if you want to fill your boats. Absolutely no problems there, but I like to have D media drive, and then this can either be watched or moved or mirrored or anything of that nature. So let me show you what goes down here. So in After Effects, I've loaded it up, and I've got my my comps here. So there's all my comps, and I'll just shut those down. And with this, I want to go to Render Garden. Now, Render Garden, buyer beware. You need to be very careful here. So when you open it up, you will need to download Python, and you will need to download FFmpeg. Then you'll need to put it in the clever spot and point to where it is. With the seeds, you don't put it on the root of your folder. Like, you just don't stick it in the root. You need to actually do it as a, sorry guys, clean that up. You need to put it into a folder, or the whole system will die and explode. So let's get rid of all them. Sorry. And delete that. There we go. Yep. And that's fine. So that will go away in a second. And then you make up a folder called Seeds, or whatever you wish, and that's where everything goes. So there's my Adobe After Effects folder with the After Effects in there. Now, that's for this. Now, I will go over this in 2 seconds with the seeds and breaking it apart and what have you. But I just wanted to go over and show you After Codec. So here it is here, and you have settings. So with this, you can come through and you can select whatever codec you want that is currently supported. So in this case, I like to do the upload for there. I like to make it a little bit higher megabits, probably around about 10, if that works out. Failing that, you can actually drill down a bit further more into the H.264, go by bit rates, and, come through here. You've got 8-bit and 10-bit technology as well. The user guide's great. Settings is just basically what I was showing you there, and that's how you activate it. So how do you get that into the render queue? Glad you asked. So I'll pull this back down into here. And I will grab any one of these and pull it down into my render queue. So here it comes. And into this, you then pull down, you've got either the ProRes version or the MP4 version. And then if you want to go into your formats, you're right back to this page here. So I'll just do this, do that, lift it up a bit, and click OK. So OK again. Once I've done that, come down into your templates, name it whatever you wish. So demo MP4, and then up through here, you got demo MP4, and click OK. So that'll save as a template now. So this little bad boy will always do that. This gets pointed out to the root of the D drive, because you can export the videos to the root, but you can't be putting these files into there. So that all said, let's get rendering. So I'll grab, I don't know, say half a dozen of these and drag them down into here. Of course, you've got shortcuts, and After Effects people, don't laugh, just enjoy. So from here, I can then go to my render garden, and my render garden is interesting. If you've got one comp, this seed section is where it will break up the comp into certain sections, utilize each core, and then concatenate it once it's all finished. If you've got individual files like I have, sure, you could break them into 2 parts. These are only 30-second spots, so you could do that. Or you could leave them as one seed, and they'll just start utilizing each of the cores on each version. So one core, one version. Here, when I go plant the seeds, it's going to copy the After Effects projects, put them into folders, do all sorts of clever stuff. And then it's going to ask how many terminals you want to fire up. So I'll do 10, and then I'll click OK. Once I do this, all hell breaks loose. Terminal flies open, everything's happening here, and it's showing me down in my seed section what's going on. So it's coming through, it's looking into this seeds section through here. It's going to start firing up in a second, and then it's going to start either breaking the comp apart and then utilizing, which I asked to do 2 seeds of this. And from there, it's just going to start using FFmpeg to concatenate it. Or in this stage, it's offloading it to After Codecs to do the transcode of MP4 for then Render Garden to then concatenate it all back together. If we have a look down here and look at the task manager, and we should be seeing 79 is going to fire up in a second, and off to the races we go. So we're utilizing each core, we're utilizing a good chunk of memory, and this is a nice one, 96, there's a good chunk of memory doing that as well. And this is going to fly out. This is the key about this. I'm not doing one comp at a time, I'm actually splitting the comps into two, and then I'm getting the guys to absolutely batter this. So if I come out to here, there it is. It took about a minute, which is great, but don't forget, it's actually doing multiple ones at a time. So it's going to start moaning. It's a very easy test. Sorry, I should have unticked this. And as you see, they're all starting to come through here, and these will start concatenating and coming through. Now, if you've got long comps, this is brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. 30-second commercials, and if you had like 195 of them, this is the only way I can see that you'd want to get an MP4 out with speed, and also, it'll free up After Effects. Whether you want to use your computer when it's at 100%, absolutely no idea. But the best thing is, you can come back to your After Effects locally. Tap, 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 do what you want to do, upload to Wasabi via CyberDuck, jump back over, pull it back down, and render out. So, as an editor by trade, and as a person that is involved in lots of variants and understanding how things can be better, this to me is brilliant, because you could go pony up a brand new Mac Pro with 56 cores. You could do a massive PC of all the stuff. Where it gets a little bit interesting is this could cost you around about $20 a day. You could have multiple machines as well, don't forget. And if you buy an additional license of After Effects, you could then have 2 machines rendering out. Happy days. And, that's not a lot of capital expenditure to get out, because it's more kind of operational expenditure. So it's up to you how many cores you want to use. It's up to you what you want to do. And it's a very simple comp that I've got right here. What we haven't talked about is when you've got plugins and fonts and all sorts of stuff. That's another day, another conversation. This is for someone, as a company or individual, who needs to put out lots of commercials, who needs to get them done quickly. And let's not forget, and this is the best thing here, with this, you've got the speed of upload. So if I just jump into Chrome here and just do a quick speed test, if you're doing local, I live in a village on the east coast of England, which has got tremendously bad internet. I mean, I'm lucky to get 20 download. We'll let this do the upload, which is a fair call. This will allow, there you go. There is no way in hell I would ever in a million years get that as an upload speed. So once I've completed these, I could open up Frame.io on this computer, and I could upload these at super quick speed. And it's all about time. Long are the days of overnight renders. Come back, cross your fingers, hope it works. With this tooling, which is tremendously affordable, I mean, between Render Garden and After Codecs, it's like $200, and that's for life. And I'm not saying that for sure, but to date, I've never had to pay for an upgrade, which is amazing. I have a couple of Macs sitting around, but what I found of this, I can turn it off and turn it on. That's $5, and I've got the power of it, and I can just control these. So guys and girls, hopefully that's cool. I'll put the links for the guys downstairs. It's kind of to show you a better and smarter way if you need to start churning out multiple variants of commercials, and when it really starts gearing up. If I had to get these to an XD cam or anything that's not within After Codecs or within the normal export of a PC After Effects, I would then have to go over to Adobe Media Encoder, and to date, there's no other way to do that. Hopefully in the future, After Codecs might put in XD cam, they might put in ABC Intra, there might be other requests we can do, and when that comes, you can remove yourself away from Adobe Media Encoder. But my gut is soon Adobe Media Encoder will utilize all cores. I've heard rumors they're going to do that. And if that's the case, then you could just literally send to Adobe Media Encoder and smash it out. All right, guys. Hopefully that helps. That was a bit longer than normal. It's more of a kind of a proof of concept. But looking at the tooling that you got, it's a great time to be in post-production. All right then. As always, guys, see you later.